Today is, what is it? Tuesday, December 9th. Oh man. And I just watched episode 4 of Stranger Things, which I really liked. I had some issues with it, but it's more of like plot reasons and not like anything technical. Actually, there are a lot of I can't talk. Technical parts that I did really like. So there was that. There was a lot of me going back and forth between what was a good plan and what was a terrible plan. Kidnapping children, still a terrible plan. Um, uh, Deciding that the one person that the military is looking for to in fact break into a military base is a terrible plan. Like, I'm fully on Dr. K's side on that. She was like, we've been looking for her for a while, and you brought her here of all places. And it's like, yeah, that was a terrible plan. Just an awful plan. Just yeah. They're like, yeah, we kidnapped a child. Now we're gonna kidnap more children. We're gonna bring Elle into a military base. Because why not? It was a terrible plan. Somehow that didn't bite them in the ass, but the kidnapping children plan did. But I kind of figured that for the end of like the first half of the season was gonna be like that, because that's just how writing in general works, where it's like, you think the heroes are gonna win, and then they take a massive pitfall, so now they have to reconvene and figure shit out, and like that's very classic writing in general, just any kind of writing, but like screenwriting, book writing, all the writing, like that's very classic. So it's like, I'm not surprised that like Vecna beat their asses and now they have, I didn't count how many kids. They have a lot of kids missing now. What was it, 12 or something like that? Because he just went like full blown. So yeah, I'm not surprised that happened. Other parts, the literal gate crashing that occurred, I thought that was great. Where Steve was like, "Yeah, we should just drive in to the Upside Down," and Nancy, I love Nancy, and she usually is thinking with her brain. She is not thinking with her brain right now. Which she has every right not to. Like, her sister is missing. She has every right not to think with her brain. But that was an incredibly stupid idea. I'm just like, it's alright, we're gonna drive into the Upside Down and hope we don't die. I'm like, that is crazy. Like, that was just crazy, and that entire interaction was just, oh no, and then like Steve and Dustin arguing, and then full blown crashing into the flesh wall. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. We didn't get enough of the entire plot this time around, which I was, some bits I was not here for, but other bits I was like really excited about. Like, I might talk about them in a second. Yeah, like another terrible plan, trusting dipshit Derek goes along with it. Derek did a pretty damn good job. I thought he was gonna fuck that up royally, and I'm like, you know what? He actually pulled through. I didn't know that was possible, but like from the like 2 episodes that I've seen of him, but I was just like, oh, that part of the plan didn't eat shit. So I was really surprised by that. And then, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I thought they were gonna go for it towards the end of the episode, and they didn't, and I'm really glad they did. I am not a Byler shipper. I don't know if I've said that, but I'm not. Like, I don't. But the scene right before they go into the tunnels, and like the two of them are talking, and Robin like realizes that Will's gay. They're like talking together, and I'm like, I don't know, it's giving Byler vibes, and I'm not here for it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm really not a Byler shipper. I don't like it. I'm like, no, like, I don't hate Mike this season, which is shocking, because like he's probably one of my least favorite characters, but I'm definitely like not. I will never be here for that ship, and I will continue to stand on that. I'm like, no, thank you. Like, Will deserves better. Like, no, I'm good. On top of other ships, I'm enough with the love triangle. Like them in, was it a church or something like that, in the Upside Down, and once again they're having an argument, and like Steve and Nancy are like, yes, we should go move, and Jonathan's like, no. Which, like, yeah, that's a reasonable argument, but like they're still like on. It's still Jonathan and Steve going on this like stupid, as my sister called it, like high school level, like drama beef in terms of like a romantic relationship where like all of them are grown ass adults now who should like stop doing that. Like, you're all grown ass adults. Grow up a little bit and stop acting like 15-year-olds in a love triangle. It's fucking stupid. And I'm still not here for it, like, at all. But in terms of that scene, with the plan, which is what I miss, like, the plan of going to Hawkins' lab, I was like, that is a great plan. And then we got none of it. And I was like, what the fuck? I want to see this plan. This plan looks great. This plan looks cool. And they're like, no, we're not going to show it for the rest of the episode. I'm like, I would love to see this plan because this is a good plan. Unlike the more kidnapping children plan. I'm like, I'm not here for the kidnapping children plan, but I'm here for the breaking into the upside down version of Hawkins' lab plan because that sounds like a great plan. So yeah, and then moving on from that, I love the newfound friendship between Robin and Will. It's so cute, especially where like Robin, like, cause they're very much like, I know you're gay, you know I'm gay, like, let's talk about it, but not like openly say it in a way, which is what I really like. And then like Robin telling her story of like sort of like who, I don't remember the name of the character, but like the character that she used to have a crush on that like ended up being in a relationship with Steve, and like realizing that it's like, yeah, she like had a crush on that character, but like it was more about trying to find herself and figuring out who she is, and I love that about it. It's very much like figure out who you are before you get into a relationship kind of thing. And I think that's sort of where, in terms of my anti-biolerness, like where that comes from, in terms of like Will needs to figure out who he as a person is, which is what I think the story at the end was, with like the flashbacks and like the sort of like tape recordings and stuff like that. It's like, yes, he started off with this really good friendship with Will, but like he's figuring out who he is and like his needs and his goals and stuff like that. And I think that's what I really liked about it. It's like trying to find who you are before figuring out other people. So I'm glad that like Will has someone like Robin, where like they've developed such a really good friendship in this short amount of time, and it's like it's so adorable. Just, I love it. It's so cute. That was just me rambling about how like I think their friendship is really cute, and I think it's Robin's very much like the sort of like I'd say like adult person that Will needs to look up to. Like, obviously Will can look up to his brother, but let's be honest. Well, Jonathan's not the most responsible human being in the world, and I mean neither is Robin. But like she has a successful, at least what seems like a very successful job, like operating at this like radio. I don't know nothing about radios, but like radio and like channel and like this location and stuff like that. And obviously it's used as like a covert way to like send in codes and stuff like that, but it's like she knows at this point what she wants in life. And I think that it's good that Will has someone who he can openly talk to who has a similar experience, because it's like Jonathan's not gay, but Robin is, and so Robin can tell Will being like, we are different, we don't belong in a way in this 80s society that like is still very keen on the nuclear family. That's like, I feel like in a way why like we look at the Wheelers for the most part is because they are the nuclear family. Like the Byers are not the nuclear family. It's like they have a missing father figure, and it's like Joyce taking care of the two of them. And you know, as she stated this season, she's not really home a lot because she works all the time and stuff like that. And so like Jonathan's the one that was usually taking care of Will, and it's sort of like that where it's like like he's sort of like the other quote unquote in like this 80s style society that like Stranger Things is trying to show its audience. And I think that's where like Robin comes in and was like, we are the others, the quote unquote others. We like don't belong with, like, I wouldn't say like they don't belong with the Wheelers, but like it's very much like a different, it's a different side. Like, listen, this is 2025, so like we're very more openly accepting of gay people, but like that was not the case in the 80s. And it's sort of like they had to stay in the closet. They could only tell certain people and be trusted to tell like certain people. And it's like, who knows? I would hope that Will feels comfortable with telling all of his friends, but I don't think he ever will, and that's like incredibly unfortunate. But like it's, a very realistic case in all of that, that like he probably won't ever be able to tell all of his friends that he's gay, because not all of them will support that, especially with like the previous season, which was like more going towards the satanic panic than anything else. But like one of the things that I don't remember his name, but like the jock basketball captain, like one of his things is he's like, this is a good Christian society and we need to rat out the sinners, essentially. And it's very much like that. It's like it's the small town, like satanic panic, like Christian society versus the like Dungeons and Dragons loving homosexuals and stuff like that. It's like the gays and their Dungeons and Dragons versus the Christians and their anti D&D and metal music and shit. And oh, this was such a wild tangent. But the long story short, I'm glad that Will has a friend who knows what he's going through and can help him understand what he's going through and find himself. Oh, I rambled so much. Yeah, on top of that, there were a lot of dick jokes. I was here for them. I thought they were hilarious. I'm like, yep, there's dick jokes, which was like, there was like the Robin being like, I like dick, and then her being like, wait, not that way. Later on, when they like make it underneath the bunker, and I think Will is like, hopefully it's not hard. And I think Lucas goes like, yeah, but I'll find a way to soften it. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh yeah, okay, we're just going with a lot of dick jokes today. But yeah, I took no notes on Max. Wow. I mean, I guess I should address that. I thought it was really interesting. It very much was like, I mean, it goes with my theory that like they're in Vecna's mind. Like we already kind of figured that out. So like Max is trapped in Vecna's mind, um, and stuff like that. And I am curious now about whatever memory Henry Creel has that takes place within the rock wall, because I find it really interesting. But now I know that like the rock wall is not associated with the flesh wall; it's just a wall. So I was like, well, that theory is out the window now. But yeah, like I am really curious. Like I'm sure they'll talk about it. Probably, I don't see why they wouldn't. Because they brought it up, so it'll probably get. I don't know where that was going. It'll probably get like brought up like in the next couple episodes, being like, here's the reason why Henry Creel fucking hates this rock wall for some reason. But yeah, it was just, I thought it was interesting. It kind of honestly, this is very sudden, but I think Max going through his memories and like getting lost in them kind of reminds me of like going through the void in Thunderbolts, where like well, in that case it's like getting lost in your own memories, and they're all the really shitty ones. But like in a way it's kind of like that, where it's like constantly getting lost and like fighting through all these memories and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of that. So I don't know, that was just a very sudden, all of a sudden thought that I had. I was like, oh yeah, because I was watching that, I was like, I feel like I've seen this before, and then I finally remembered what. I was like, oh, Thunderbolts. I've seen it in Thunderbolts. So yeah, and then moving on from that, the part where the Demogorgons, I can't talk. The Demogorgons are attacking the military. I loved that part. I am a huge sound design person, which is hilarious because I did not work on sound design like at all in undergrad when I did production. I was like, don't put me within a 10-foot pole of sound design. Like, I am a cinematographer all the way through. So I was just like, I don't want to touch or touch sound design, but I love listening for it. And I love especially with like movies and TV shows where they make a decision not to put non-diegetic sound in. So for the non film bros out there, diegetic sound is sound that takes place within the actual story world. So like talking, if there's any kind of like movements, or in this case it's like the demogorgons making sounds, and like the bullets going off, and the shouting and the screaming and the talking, and like sounds of people like breaking in their bones and falling and blowing shit up. Like, that's diegetic. Non-diegetic would be like, it's debatable. It depends on whether or not voiceover is diegetic or non-diegetic. I usually call it non-diegetic, but it's like, it's a spectrum. But like that, or like soundtrack, like movie scores, stuff like that, those are non-diegetic sounds unless they also take place within the scene. So for example, like most of the times when we listen to Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush, that is technically speaking diegetic because Max is listening to it. So like, even though it's a song, it's being listened to within it. Meanwhile, some of the other songs that they play in the show, where like only we can hear it, are not. Like, the example that I'm thinking of is like Material Girl from season 3, where it's like the characters clearly aren't listening to Material, we are. That's non-diegetic sound. So film lesson wrapped up. Going back to the scene, I love that scene where the Demogorgons are attacking the military because it doesn't use non-diegetic sound for the most part, and I thought it was really cool. It took me a minute to notice. I think it's like one very specific portion where they're like actually like Mike is like trying to gather the kids and like go around the chaos, because the part of that scene that I like is that it's like you can hear the chaos. It's like you are Mike, you are the group, like you hear all the chaos and you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to get out of here? And I loved that. And the point where the music comes back in is when that one Demogorgon like lands on, I think it's on top of a car, and like faces Mike and the kids, and that's when the music starts up again. And I was like, oh, it tickled my brain, and I loved it. My film brain was happy. But I loved that. Like, I loved that part so much. Like, I love scenes like that. They bring me so much joy. I'm like, if you can find a way, like, because obviously there are scenes where like there's no music, but sometimes you're like, I kind of wish there was. That's a scene where I'm like, no, this doesn't need music. Like, just to hear the absolute chaos that is unfurling around, you do not need the music. And that happens, I feel like, a lot with like battle scenes or fight scenes sometimes, where it's like Dune Part 2 is another example of that. Like when Fade-Rotha and Paul are like fighting each other at the end of the movie, there's no non-diegetic sound, and I absolutely love that scene because of it. But it's like there's a lot of times with like fight scenes and stuff like that, like they usually get rid of a soundtrack, and then they'll bring it in for a very specific moment. Like I think it's like after, spoiler, I think it's after Fade-Rotha dies that like they bring back in the music in Dune Part 2. And then in this one, it's like the second that Demogorgon lands, the music starts out up again. But it's like very sudden. Like it feels like it's the Demogorgon making the sound until you realize you're like, oh no, that's the soundtrack, which I thought was really cool. I was like, I loved that bit. I thought it was really cool. Also, I'm just here for good old fashioned, just beating the shit out of the military. I don't know why. I was just like, I'm here for, if you're gonna make the military the bad guys, I'm gonna want to see them get the shit beat out of them. Like, it's just gonna happen. Like, stuff like that, which goes to like the end where it's like, it's fun to watch Vecna just beat the shit out of the military. Like, that was insanely gory. I was not expecting that. I wouldn't say it's super gory. Like, I'm a Saw fan. Like, I watch Saw, I watch Terrifier. I'm not new to gore, but like watching it where he like shoves his hand into someone's face and like it comes up all bloody. I was like, I was not expecting that, and it's like the fakest shit I've ever seen. I was like, that's so visual effects. They didn't even bother trying to do practical, but it was so interesting. But yeah, like Vecna showing up with that, and it was just really fun to like. It's fun to watch him physically fight people, because I think that's the same thing about season 4 is he's so terrifying, but the only time you see him is like in somebody's mind, or when he's like connected in like the attic of like the Krill house, and like he doesn't fight like Nancy or Robin or any of those people in the Krill house, but in this one it's like he's physically baiting the shit out of the military, like using his mind to pull the pins out of the grenades and then shoving them. Like that was so cool. I was like, this is awesome. Like I absolutely love it. I will say the design of Vecna looks weird this season. I don't know. My sister kept talking about how like certain characters just look really weird, and she kept being like, you haven't seen one of the characters yet, but they look really weird. I was like, I have a suspicion that she was talking about Vecna because he looks weird. I can't explain it. I'm like, maybe it's because he was set on fire last season, but I was like, he does look odd in a way. I was just like, he looks strange. This, I can't put a pin on it, but I'm like, it's not, whatever it is, it's not right. I was like, I'm not a fan of it. I was just like, it's weird. So yeah, another thing. Oh yeah, my theory was correct about Vecna not being the one behind the mysterious door in the military base. I don't know why my brain was not thinking that it was gonna be 8. I think it's because that one episode with 8 gets shit on so much from season 2 that I just thought they just weren't gonna bring her back. So when she showed up, because at first they like they opened the door, I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I was like, oh, is that 8? The person I forgot about, because I really thought they were just gonna pretend that episode didn't exist, which I guess is not the case. They're like, no, we're gonna bring her back and stuff like that. But lo and behold, Vecna's not the one behind the door, which like I don't know why. I wouldn't necessarily call Elle stupid for thinking. I'm gonna call her a little dumb for thinking that. I was just like, there's like, why would shit be going down if Vecna was behind this door? Like, it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. So yeah, although I've literally just recently watched it, and I don't remember if they actually know that Holly. No, they do know that Holly's missing. So yeah, if Holly's missing, then why the hell would the military think that? Yeah, Elle's dumb for thinking that Vecna was behind that door. I've concluded through my own thought process. I've concluded that. And then my last little note on here is that Will has powers. Yay! Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, honestly, because he's got like this weird connection to the Upside Down now. So I guess like Vecna gave him part of his powers? Question mark. I'm very confused, but like I'm here for it. I'm here for the powers. I'm here for it. I'm like, yes, this seems great. I need Will to beat the shit out of everybody now. But I loved it. It's very like I think it is like to Vecna's powers, because he killed those Demogorgons in a way that Vecna would. So like I think it's like partially Vecna's powers, but like yeah, I'm so excited for the next drop of episodes now. I can't wait till Christmas. And I will not have time on Christmas or like shortly after probably to even watch these episodes, but I'm so excited now. But yeah, like I'm so excited now. I go back and forth. I'm very much a person that will like be really into something, and then if I'm not like experiencing it for a hot minute, I'll like pretend that I hated it my whole life. I wouldn't say that I pretend that I hated it, but I was like, I didn't get into Stranger Things until season 2 was already out. Like I was in high school when I first started watching Stranger Things, and I really didn't like the first like 4 episodes of Stranger Things. I was like, this is kind of boring. I really don't care about Barb. I stand by that statement. I don't give a fuck about Barb. But I was like, I don't know, it's fine, whatever. And then I like kept watching it, and I was like, oh, this is actually like kind of cool. It's kind of fun. Um, and I loved season three. I got like really into it during season three because I absolutely loved season three. And once like season four rolled around, I was like, this is fun, but I'm like over it a little bit. And like when I went into season five, I was like reaching my point where I was like, I'm just gonna watch it for the sake of like finishing this show because I feel like it's unfortunately, especially when it comes to Netflix, so rare for a show to actually finish. Like Netflix is so keen on like, and like they're not the only ones, but Netflix is so keen on like canceling all their shows now that it's like a miracle when one of them actually finishes, and that could partially be because I'm really pissed that they canceled Shadow and Bone because I fucking loved that show, but like I very much it was just like they're actually finishing a show for once. It's taken like 10 goddamn years, but like they're gonna finish it, so like might as well watch it and finish it too. And I'm glad that I've gotten into it because I was originally gonna like I think I said this last episode, but I was gonna wait until all of it was out, and I'm glad I'm watching it like in chunks because it's been fun. I'm like I enjoy this now. Like I'm here for it. I'm having fun. There are definitely parts where I'm like not having fun, and I think the best part of it was season four, where there were plot lines that I just really wasn't into. Like the entire California bit, I fucking hated it. I was like, I'm not here for it. It's really boring. I just find it really annoying. And there are definitely plot points here where it's just like and it's not plot points specifically. It's like specific actions that characters are taking. Like Joyce is coming up with such terrible plans. Like the kidnapping of children, I absolutely hate. Like it's just such a terrible plan, and I don't like and I'm still invested in the like Ellen Hopper bit. Like I think that one's actually really sweet. Like their relationship is so cute, and like I'm glad that I'm seeing it. But that plan was awful. But like like some of the more I don't know. I think, and I get why they're doing it, but I think like some of the ridiculous parts are so obnoxiously ridiculous that I don't enjoy it. I think at this point I'm just here for like a nitty gritty horror dark show. Um, that like all the fun bitty bits I don't find that interesting. Like it's supposed to be I guess kind of funny that they're making a plan to kidnap children to save them, but like I'm not here for the plan, so like it's not that interesting. And I think I would be more interested in like Holly and Max's story. If it wasn't so, which I understand why they made it so exposition heavy, but like it was just so exposition heavy that I was just like I'm bored. like, and I understand why they have to do this. Like they have to explain why Max is there, but it I don't know. It was just it felt odd compared to everything else, and I think it's supposed to be odd. Like you're in Vecna's head, but it felt strange compared to everything else, and I just like wasn't like as into it, which is why I don't think I really took any notes on it because I was just like, I mean, it's fine. Like I don't hate it, but I don't find it that interesting. And it's like the one like plot that was starting to get really interesting, which was like Dustin and Jonathan and Nancy and Steve like deciding to go to like Hawkins lab. Like that sounds really interesting, and then they don't show it, and I'm like, what the fuck? I want to watch that. Like that actually sounds really interesting and cool, and it's annoying that like we don't get that. So I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm excited to watch the last. I truly I think there's gonna be like 4 more episodes, but like I'm excited to watch the next batch and just see how it goes and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I hope you loved my very long ramble session. I warn you, these rambles will not go away. They will continue to ramble. I ramble. I think more and more as I get like more comfortable into doing these videos, like they'll probably just get longer and longer as I'm like, let's stop going a random tangent and stuff like that. But I hope you all enjoyed this. I certainly did. But yeah, thanks for watching or listening. If you just like put this on in the background, thank you. Bye bye.